Just a few days back, organizers of the Women's March, well, they decided to do one of the biggest mistakes that they've ever made. I mean, really, like, they totally messed up in this situation. So, what they did is they decided to pick on a specific race. Like I talked about in the past, I talked about Women's March with feminism and how they were targeting a specific race before. Now they're back at it once again. So, what happened entirely? This has to do with an event that was going to take place in Eureka, California on January 19th. And the organizers of the event, they decided to cancel it because basically the participants were going to be overly whelmingly white. Now, this would have been the third anniversary of the original Women's March. The original Women's March took place literally just one day after Trump went in office, and that was January 21st, 2017. First of all, there are several issues that we need to just be real about. We need to really actually be very crystal clear about that this is very wrong. So, when you cancel an event and it's due to issues such as race, it doesn't matter what race, okay? If you cancel an event due to any race because you have too many people of one race, that is a problem. I don't care what excuse you want to make, what little political correct kind of statement you want to put in there and say that's an excuse for it. This is like clear racism. You probably want to know more on how the organizers actually managed to explain this one to the public. And what they did is basically they manipulated a situation saying that it was because it was to do with diversity. Now, they said it was because the area it wasn't that diverse or something like that, so then they made an excuse and then they blamed it because there was like literally too many white women that showed up. That doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, really, they probably just canceled the event because they realized no one's going to show up. I mean, they had to make an excuse. So, where's the excuse going to come from? Oh, yeah, they're going to, pick the easiest target that they can. Last thing I checked, this was a women's march, not a diversity march. And there's nothing wrong with diversity. I mean, we all live in America, everybody's different. But at the same time, I don't think it's something that like we should push and we should try to, put ourselves into different boxes and try to keep ourselves away from people. I think that's what a lot of diversity is doing when we're trying to say, oh yeah, push diversity, push diversity. It's doing the opposite thing. And it's actually, making different conflicts with different people. I don't like that at all. I don't think that should be something that we should have. Therefore, let's just try to, stay away from that kind of stuff. So the official decision was made by like a lot of the top organizers and some supporters. I guess they exchanged information and they said it wasn't diverse enough. They made the decision and then they made that public through a press release. The way that these people work is that if there wasn't enough white women that showed up, they would have gone online, they would have complained, they would have been like, you're not doing enough. You're not, like, going out there. White women, what's wrong with you? Like they have in the past with several different tweets from a lot of people that are involved with the Women's March. And, having, I guess, too many white women is wrong too. So where do you, like, really go wrong? I mean, just every direction is bad, really. Even if you are a feminist, I might joke around and I might make fun of you, but in the end, if you're being mistreated, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to stand up for you and speak out because it's still wrong and you don't deserve it. At one event, you could end up having a great amount of white women, or you could have a great amount of black women, Mexican, Asian, Native American, so on any race, it doesn't matter. I mean, if there's going to be more of, one number, you can't have a perfect level of diversity that you're always going to have. You're going to have like this one little level of diversity that you match up. You're like, oh yeah, there's an even amount of this amount of people, even amount of this amount of people. I mean, that's a problem with a lot of this is that they try to push this and they try to do this with like a lot of different movies and stuff like that. And like, I think that, yeah, it should be, all fair majority of the times, but you shouldn't force things like that because it kind of makes it, really weird in a way. We are all American women in this country, and no one should ever be treated differently at an event. Once people are treated differently at an event because of something to do with their race, then that creates a very slippery slope for us. And once it happens to one specific group of people, that really targets all of us because that really impacts really what's going on with women. So if you want to target one of us, you're targeting all of us, right? True equality is having equal access to any opportunity. Therefore, when you start making opportunities just kind of fade away for people into a certain location that they're in, like Eureka, California, that really is just not doing justice for the whole entire cause. For trying to push women's rights, well, you're not going to push women's rights for one area, one city. My future hope is that they don't try canceling events because of a racial turnout. So hopefully they don't do this for Seattle. I know that they're going to end up having an event. Maybe they can do the same exact thing. Hopefully they don't. I think the amount of people that have been showing up to this, big deal to them is quite significant. We should be looking at that number. A lot of people aren't recognizing that. They're not recognizing how many people are actually showing up to these events. For example, there were so many that attended this event, it just had to be swept away from the media for, being under the rug, apparently, for the so-called racial issues and diversity issues that it had. I mean, that's not anyone's fault. What is everybody from the event, thousands and thousands of people or whatever come together and start saying, how many people from one race are going to be there? That's not their fault. This happens naturally. If you don't like the natural outcome of something, that's very weird for you as, the organizers. So I have to question that. That's so weird. This is an issue that I've noticed has been happening a lot more frequently at events, and I don't think it should carry on. I don't think it should continue on at all. I think that this is very damaging to individuals. I wanted to thank everyone for listening to what I had to say about every single thing that's going on. I know it's kind of a lot at once if you're not used to it, but hey, it's a life. It's what's going on. There's always news. There's always stuff constantly. And, it's just a part of it. So, therefore, go check out some of my other videos. I'm going to have another video in a few days. And I will see you then, so stay tuned.